Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 1. My name is Muhammad Firdaus and my friend is
My name is Irfan Faturrahman Firdaus, and my friends
My name
is
is Muhammad Yafiatala.
okay.
So
Now we are
today we will presentate about our topic, and our topic is Step Forward Physical Therapies for Improving Mobility in Geriatric Parkinson's Care. And this is our member. Okay, first of all, Article 1. The title is Effect of Different exercise Types on Balance Function in Healthy Older Adults and Parkinson's Patients, a systematic review. The author was Tu Bin Gu and Lu Tang in 2024. The aims or objective in this article is to compare the effects of Tai Chi, yoga, and resistance training on balance and motor function in healthy older adults and individuals with Parkinson's disease or PD. The study also aimed to determine optimal duration and frequency of exercise for the maximum benefit. The methods were systematic review and meta-analysis of 21 randomized controlled trials or RCTs sourced from four major databases such as PubMed, Web of Science, Scopus, and Cochrane Library up to December 2023. Risk of bias was assessed using the Cochrane ROB 2.0 tool, main outcome measures BBS and TUG. A statistical analysis was conducted using RefMan and comprehensive meta-analysis software. The variable or tools used were balance. We use Berg balance scale and time up and go test. For the motor function, we use Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale Part 3 or UPDRS 3. And the interventions were Tai Chi, yoga, and resistance training. The exercise duration approximately happens during 30 to 120 minutes. Frequency is up to 5 times a week over 4 weeks to 12 months. The findings were all exercise types, Tai Chi yoga, resistance training, significantly improved balance on and motor function in both healthy older adults and PD patients. Resistance training was most effective regimen 3 to 4 times per week, 50 to 60 minutes per session for at least 12 weeks. Consistent training improve mechanical balance, brain connectivity, muscle strength, proprioception, and neurotransmitter metabolism. Practical implications. The practical implications were exercise such as Tai Chi and resistance training should be considered part of routine care for PD patients and healthy older adults. They can be implemented in both community and clinical settings to prevent falls and enhance quality of life. Structured and regular physical training more than 3 times a week is recommended for both groups. The limitations were high variability in study design, causing heterogeneity. Only 12 out of 21 studies included Parkinson's disease patients. The rest focused on healthy older adults. Cannot yet fully explain biological mechanism due to limited neurophysiological data. And the next article,
the next article 2 title Physiotherapy in Parkinson Disease, a meta-analysis of patient treatment model. Author Danis et al. 220. As object updating the latest evidence, this article aims to update the meta-analysis conducted as a part of European physiotherapy guidelines for the public in 2040 by adding the its epidemics up to June 320. This includes a review of the last studies that have been published this area. Evolution of intervention effect. The author went to evaluate the effect of the different types of physiotherapy intervention that have been implemented. Next. then the methods in the article include a series of systematic steps taken by the author to evaluate the effectiveness of physiotherapy interventions on Parkinson's. And then variable tools, outcome variable. This study focus on several outcome variable relevant to the study condition include motor symptoms, measuring the uneven Parkinson disease rating scale. Balance tools are to evaluate pattern balance including the time and gait. Yet working parameter were measures such as stride, speed, and distance. Quality of life, rest, having several scale including. Next, next. And then the finding of this article present the result of an analysis of the effects of various physiotherapy interventions in routine Parkinson disease. From traditional physiotherapy intervention equals from the conventional physiotherapy significantly improve motor symptom, ability, and quality of life. Recipients training, this intervention saw improvement in gait, but it's unclear if any other effects were significant. And then practical implementation. Clinical guideline development stemming from this analysis can be asked to update and improve clinical guidelines for physiotherapy therapy with Parkinson disease. With evidence supporting various physiotherapy interventions can make more evidence-based design and improve treatment strategies. Okay, next article.
Okay, this is the third article. The title is Ready Steady Intervention to Promote Physical Activity in Older Adults with Parkinson Disease, Study Design and Methods. The author were Narayanan Krishnamurti, Julie Fleury, Michael Belyi, Holly A. Shiel, James J. Abbas in 2020. The aims or objective of this article is to develop and evaluate the efficacy of the Ready Steady Intervention, a theory-based behavior change program combining motivational support based on wellness motivation theory and pulse riding to improve physical activity, gait, and mobility among sedentary older adults with Parkinson disease. The methods were randomized control trial with three groups. The first one is ready steady, the second one is pulse riding plus education, and the third one is education only. 108 sedentary Parkinson disease patients, age range from 50 to 75, were randomly assigned into 36 randomly assigned 36 people per group. Okay, the variables and tools. Physical activity were measured by Ready Steady mobile app. And what's measured is duration, intensity, mass, and energy expenditure. And the gait were measured using gait speed, stride or step length, variability, arm swing, symmetry via APDM sensors. The next one is balance. The balance were measured using mini best test, limits of stability, force platform, and the motivation and psychosocial were measured by self-capacity, index of readiness, index of self-regulation, SSES, perceived environmental support scale. The findings were hypothesis 1. Ready study group will show significant improvements in physical activity time and gait speed. It's the pre-pause. Hypothesis 2. Ready study group will outperform the PEI and EI groups in physical activity and gait outcomes. Prior pilot studies suggest pulse riding improves gait parameters such as step length, stride, time, reduces variability, and enhances quality of life. WMT components where motivation, self-regulation, social support are expected to enhance engagement and maintenance of activity. The practical implications, where the Ready Steady program offers a novel, theory-driven, dual-focus intervention, physical plus motivational, tailored for PD patients. Potential for broad implementation in community or clinical rehab settings. Support sustainable lifestyle change by targeting core barriers, such as fear of falling, low expectations, lack of motivation, can guide for future personalized interventions for neurodegenerative conditions. The limitations of these articles results may be limited to individuals with mild to moderate Parkinson's disease, HY stage 2 to 3. Intervention may not generalize to non-ambulatory or advanced PD cases. Engagement and adherence to the app and device-based monitoring could vary. Potential variability in polstering technique despite and standardized training. Okay, the next article.
Okay, the fourth article is effectiveness of long-term physiotherapy in Parkinson's disease, a systematic review and meta-analysis. The author of this article are Kada Y. Otsuka, Kada Y. Otsuka et al. In 2021. The aims and objective are to assess the effectiveness of long-term physiotherapy uh, on 6 months on motor symptoms and anti-Parkinsonian medication dose in PD patients. And the methods are systematic review and meta-analysis of 10 RCTs of 663 patients, search PubMed, Cochrane, Pedro, and CINHHL, and the random effects of meta-analysis grade for evidence quality. Next. The variable and tools are the primary tools is MDS, UPDRS, motor score, on and off medications. Secondary tools are MDS, UPDRS, ADL score, levodopa equivalent dose or LED, and subgroup analysis by interventions type of aerobic resistance, multimodal, and multidisciplinary. The findings are motor symptoms of state significant improvement and levodopa equivalent dose LED reduction significant. Subgroups aerobics exercise improved off state symptoms, multidisciplinary rehab reduced LED, and the ADL no significant overall effect, but multidisciplinary rehab showed benefits, and quality of evidence low for aerobics to very low for other interventions. Practical implications of this article are supports long-term physiotherapy in terms of 6 months for motor symptom management in PD, highlights aerobics exercise and multidisciplinary rehab as effective strategies, emphasize the need for off-state assessments to capture physiotherapy benefits, suggest combining physiotherapy with occupational therapy for ADL. And the limitations of these articles are small number of studies per subgroup, heterogeneity in interventions and outcomes, blinding challenge in physiotherapy trials, risk of bias, and because the cause of lack of blinding. Indirectness, multidisciplinary rehab included non-physiotherapy components. Okay, for the next article is Article 5. The title is Aerobic exercise alters brain function and structure in Parkinson's disease, a randomized controlled trial. The author of this article are Johansson, M.E. Cameron et al. In 2022. Next, all right. The aims and objectives of this article are to investigate how aerobic exercise influences functional and structural brain changes in Parkinson's disease, particularly in the corticostriatal sensory-motor network and cognitive control networks. The methods are randomized, double-blind controlled trial of 57 patients from the Park in Shape trial underwent MRI, behavioral tests, and cognitive tasks before and after 6 months of aerobic exercise or stretching control intervention. The variable and tools are resting state MRI, voxel-based morphometry, free water imaging, oculomotor cognitive control test or SCATS, and clinical assessments, which is MDS UPDRS3, MOCA, and VO2 max. The findings are aerobic exercise led to increased functional connectivity in anterior putamen, improved cognitive control and anti-saccade performance, reduced global brain atrophy, and increased right frontoparietal right-north connectivity. Next. The practical implications of this article are aerobic exercise can promote brain plasticity, potentially stabilizing motor symptoms and enhancing cognitive control in early PD. Supports inclusion of aerobic training in PD treatment strategies. The limitations are small sample size for imaging subgroup, short follow-up about 6 months, lack of healthy control group, no significant structural effects in substantia nigra, not all participants completed intervention, and limited generalizability due to mild PD severely in sample. Okay.
Okay, that's it for our presentation. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.